여러분 안녕하세요. 그동안 잘 지내셨죠? 지니 선생님입니다. On my way to school today, I almost got into a car accident. I don't know why, but suddenly the car jumped in front of me. Luckily, I escaped the car. I was so shocked and pulled my car over to the shoulder of the surface of the street. I looked back and the car hit the center divider and it seemed damaged quite a bit. Because of this, I was almost late to school. So let's take a look at the situation. Two things I want to say in Korean. I almost got into a car accident. I was almost late to school. Those sentences mean the fact is I did not have an accident and I was not late to school, but almost. Then how would you say the situation in Korean? The situation where it almost would have happened, but in fact it did not. It is something 으릴 뻔했다. Notice that the action could have happened in the past. Therefore, the past tense 했다 is used. To have a car accident is 차 사고가 나다 in Korean. Therefore, when you say I almost had a car accident in Korean, you can say 차 사고가 날 뻔했어요. And if you want to say I was almost late to school, 학교에 늦을 뻔했어요. Then how would you say the following sentences in Korean? 오늘 늦게 일어나서 학교 버스를 놓칠 뻔했어요. 어제 우리 학교 풋볼팀이 질 뻔했어요. What does the first sentence mean? From the phrase 놓칠 뻔했어요, did you pick up the verb stem 놓치다? What does 놓치다 mean? It means to miss. Therefore, the first sentence means because I woke up late, I almost missed the school bus. What about the second sentence? From the phrase 질 뻔했어요, we can get the verb 지다. That means almost lost. Therefore, the sentence means our school football team almost lost yesterday. Hence, this expression something 으릴 뻔했다 is good to use when something could have happened, but actually it did not. Knowing the expression, let's take a look at the video.
오늘 내 생일에 와줘서 고마워. 엄마, 우리 다 왔어요. 케이크 자를까요?
그래, 모두 바쁜데 와주었구나. 음료수와 과자 있으니까 많이 먹어요. 그리고 차린 건 없지만 이따가 저녁도 먹고 가고.
어머니 고맙습니다.
잘 먹겠습니다. 그런데 생각해보니 수연이 안 왔네.
응, 내가 같이 가자고 했는데 내일 중요한 시험이 있다고 못 온대.
나도 사실 못 올 뻔했는데 어디서 생일 파티를 하냐고 물어보니까 집에서 한다고 해서 왔어.
집에서 생일 파티를 한다고 해서 왔다고?
응, 집에서 만든 음식이 훨씬 좋잖아.
나는 폴린이 생일 파티에 오라고 해서 너무 기뻤어.
모두들 고마워. 어서 먹자. 참, 그리고 종종 우리 집에 놀러와.
From the dialogue, did you notice that the two friends are quoting what they heard? So the next lesson will be the indirect quotation. What does the indirect quotation mean? When a speaker uses something that he or she heard, it is called the indirect quotation. In fact, we already saw the indirect quotation of the declarative mood. Do you remember it? For example, how would you say someone else in Korean when you heard Paul is smart? Do you remember? Something 니은다고 하다. So you say 폴이 똑똑하다고 해요. It is good to take a look at the rules once more for the indirect quotation of the declarative mood. Then, what about the imperative indirect quotation? That means someone giving a command or asking someone to do something and you need to quote it. For example, your mom asked your dad to wait until she comes home if dad comes home earlier than mom. Now you need to tell that to your dad. How would you say it? The format is something 으라고 하다. Since your mom asked to wait, the key word is 기다리다 in Korean. So you need to make 기다리라고 했어요. So you can say to your dad, 아빠, 엄마가 엄마 올 때까지 기다리라고 했어요. If you look at the sentence, notice 엄마 is the subject because you are quoting what your mother said to you. So the expression is something 으라고 하다. What if you want to quote when someone proposed something? For example, your friend Paul suggests to study together this weekend, and you're telling that to your mom to get the permission to go out. How'd you say it? First of all, before I say the entire sentence, the pattern to quote someone's suggestion or proposition is something 자고 하다. Since Paul suggested to study together, you have to use the verb 공부하다. Therefore, it is 엄마, 폴이 이번 주말에 도서관에서 같이 공부하자고 했어요. As long as you know the expression something 자고 하다, it's pretty simple, isn't it? So, if your friend Grace asks you to go to a dance party, and if you want permission from your dad, you can say, 아빠, 그레이스가 같이 댄스 파티에 가자고 했어요. 가도 되죠? So far, we have seen the indirect quotations of declarative, propositive, and imperative moods. One more mood, right? What do you think that is? Yes, the interrogative mood, a question. How would you say it in Korean when you quote someone asking something? For example, your teacher asks you how many hours you studied and you want to repeat that to your friend. When you quote what someone asked, the expression is something 이냐고 하다. As you see, it depends on the final consonant of the verb used in the question. The verb used in a question was to study, and study is 공부하다 in Korean. Therefore, you're going to say 공부하냐고 했어요. So, the entire sentence will be 선생님이 나에게 하루에 몇 시간 공부하냐고 하셨어. Since the teacher asked, you can replace the word 하셨어 with 물어보셨어. If your mom asked if you have school this coming Monday, and if you want to repeat that to your friend, then you will say 우리 엄마가 이번 월요일에 수업이 있냐고 물어보셨어. Therefore, the pattern for interrogative indirect quotation is something 이냐고 하다. We have seen the indirect quotations of the four moods. When you quote what someone said or what you heard, when you quote what someone asked, and when you quote what someone suggested or proposed, and when you quote a command someone gave, we will look at the rules once more. We always face many situations to quote what others said, and these indirect quotations are very useful to make your Korean fluent. So remember, something 니은 or 는다고 하다, something 이냐고 하다, something 으라고 하다, and something 자고 하다. 와, 이제 여러분 한국어 너무 잘해요. 다음 시간에 봐요.